Hello there, and welcome back to the SWTVC show right here on YouTube, the streaming home of the SWTVC crew and TVC March Madness 2025. I'm your host, Evan, or as you may know me on Instagram, at Mile High Ground. And today I am joined by the spreadsheet master, the top 25 wizard, the guy with the mustache, and he wants Kitster and Wald and all that fun stuff, but they're not in this tournament. It is the Vintage Concepts himself, John Lindquist. How you doing, man?
Hello. I'm waiting for Kitster and Wald to get in this tournament, though. Next year is their year. I can guarantee it.
I can feel it in my bones, Annie. All right. And we are not joined by a special guest per se, but we are joined tonight by another member of the SWTVC crew. I can already hear him sighing. It is SW Collector 3.75. Tyler, how you doing, man?
Good. I am feeling not special. That is for sure.
Oh, you're special.
You're special to us, man.
We're all special. Yes. It's very late for you. It's moderately late for me and Evan, but it's very late for Tyler. So, and it's very, I guess, early for Lewis. So,
yeah, too early for him to be here. So.
Yes, Lewis is safe and all right. But
for those of you joining us so late on a Wednesday night, a school night, a work night, we appreciate you guys. Especially because it's going to be an hour until the results for today are posted.
Yeah, only 55 minutes. It's fine.
Yeah.
So yeah. But tonight it's late on a Wednesday in March, which means SWTVC nights coming at you. There is still 1 hour or, just a simple 55 minutes left to vote in today's matchups. And we will be going over all of that very soon. We've streamed these Wednesday nights all month with guests like John Miko of the SW The Vintage Collection Facebook group, Brett of Brett on Fett, and this past Saturday with Toys Are the Way and Middle-Aged Kiwi Man collecting Star Wars figures. And somehow there's still March Madness stuff to talk about. Okay. All right. Sweet. So anyway, before we jump into the usual conversations and all of that fun stuff, let's go ahead and say hello to folks in the chat. I'm seeing some familiar names roll through.
And Tyler, we're getting feedback on your end. I muted you for a minute, but if you could
cool.
Fix that, or else I'll mute you again.
All right.
Is it any better?
I'm not sure. I think so.
We'll find out. It's all right. This comment from Nicholas H. Yes. Very true. John, you said when you saw it roll through. Yeah.
Yes, he said that is my life. I really needed to get on with some work today, but here I am prioritizing SWTVC over earning the money I need to pay for my TVC. Nicholas H., the minimalist Falcon, right there with you, bud.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here.
All right. Scott McManigal, Gary Findor Moon. All right, Joseph Vogus.
Guess we were a little late. Sorry, Joe.
Yeah.
Well, we're here. All right.
We are. The late show with SWTVC. Yes, indeed. All right. So everybody, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you. It looks like there's 56 of you right now. And man, what are we doing? Wednesday night. Fun times. So
don't vote if you haven't voted. We already said it, but the link.
Yes, it is down in the bottom
tree.
Bottom corner here. I always point the wrong way. Yes.
Like, subscribe, and most importantly, vote. Okay.
Yes. All right. So, Tyler, I'm going to mute you real fast, just with the feedback there. All right. So there hasn't been in the mail call. It's the mail call section of the show. There hasn't been a ton we haven't already covered, but there is a lot shipping, it looks like. We mentioned the Streets of Mos Eisley and the Howler and Sabine Wren set shipping in Canada and starting to process from Hasbro Pulse, John?
Yes, their emails are still confusing. It seems like we'll get an email, then 5 days later we'll get another email, and then 5 days later it'll ship, and then 5 days later we'll get it. But so I'm not exactly 100% sure where they are in the process, because it'll say we've been over this, but it'll say it's about to ship. Then it'll give a date of 2 weeks ago or that day. So we're getting the emails. They're starting to make their journey out of Pulse. But y'all, our Canadian pals are getting all their stuff, so you can check out all their. I think I mentioned the wrong Canadian dad collector this past weekend. I forget. Radis Force Dad. All the dads.
Yeah.
They have it now. So check her out on Instagram. But I did get something from Pulse this week that you've had for a while. I'm not sure if you've had it, Tyler, but IG-12 with Grogu and the Enzelin. I got 2 of them. They arrived quite nicely in a box from Pulse.
I do not have him yet.
Okay. Where did you order him from? Did you order him yet or not?
Probably either Big Bad or EE.
Okay.
I'm not sure. You still getting feedback, or are we good now?
I think it's better.
Yeah,
I think it's better. Yeah. So Bob says I got my IG-12 today, but from Pulse, I'm not opening it because the card is perfect. Yeah, beautiful. So I feel like his leg is a little
they're a little loose.
But the IG, and then I pulled out IG-11 to see as well. It's kind of similar, but maybe a little more loose now. I don't know.
I forgot that figure didn't have rockers.
Yeah, so it's a little frustrating to pose with modern standards, but I mean it's pretty great engineering wise overall.
Yeah,
still
I've seen this brought up a couple times, swapping the IG-11 arms and legs, but I don't know if the paint would match well because he does have those distinct lighter colored plates.
Yeah, because I need to rewatch season 3, but he's rebuilt from the statue and from different sources, so it's not the exact same droid as he was in season 1. So there's a few missing paint apps on the inner thighs and stuff, but the lighter color is actually accurate to what he looks like in the show. So
when did IG-11 come out as a figure?
2021.
It was in the infamous Lando wave where IG-11 has not been in stores for 3.5 years. But
oh my gosh, I didn't realize.
But his wave mate was. That's wild.
Holy cow. But Chirrut was before that.
A year before him,
2020. Yeah.
So it wasn't that rockers hadn't come out yet. It was just because he's a droid. They didn't give him to him because he's a droid, I assume.
Yeah, and I remember when that figure came out, on the first sample I got, the elbow, since it's that really thin, soft plastic and there's small joints, I remember there was some easy tearing if you tried to force it if it wasn't moving. Yeah. I don't know why I'm making that hand gesture on a live stream on the internet. But I noticed I've been really careful with IG-12 so as not to replicate that tearing, but I did see a couple folks mention that it does tear easily, and it's like 3 years ahead of you guys. I already did a PSA about it.
You got to remember, I was flashing back to late 2021 when I was moving the elbows here. And then as people have pointed out, the Grogu in here is smaller than all other Grogus. I don't know if it's slightly more in scale. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But it is a little bit smaller. And he's just so cute now. Look at that little guy.
I do.
Enzelin finally got an Enzelin in TVC.
Yeah.
After Christmas versions.
Yay!
I really love the Enzelin, and I really love how this figure looks with Grogu or the Enzelin driving it. It's super fun. I already mentioned that last week that it caught one of my coworkers' eyes. Yeah. Mechanized says we need a 10-pack of Enzelins. I absolutely agree. Please.
And porgs.
Please. Yeah. A droid workshop, an Enzelin workshop place, that would be rad, and it would also be real small. So
yes, when you mentioned the porgs, not to talk about
Enzelin articulated at all?
He has his arms are articulated.
His arms are little ball joints.
Do they move together or independent?
No, it's
they're
independent.
ball joints.
Independent.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And I think Evan, were you wondering if his legs were articulated? I think you can they're not articulated, but somebody was.
Was that Toys Are the Way? And he was just like, I can't tell if I'm just bending the plastic or it's like, So,
you guys got anything lately?
I did get real quick. Here's something we just got.
Wow.
Martinez, super chat. Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Worked a 16-hour day, so might leave the chat early. But before that, I want to show my appreciation to you guys for the hard work for making March Madness fun. Of course, dude. Thank you. I also feel you on the long day. It's 9:15 my time just about, and I've been up since 5:15 a.m. my time. I'm very tired. So yeah.
Marco, I have a better idea. Go take a 30-minute nap and then wake back up for the results at midnight.
Yes, I took a 30-minute nap before this, which is why my eyes are dead and I don't know where I am. So it's great. Real quick though, I did get a shipping notification last night from Pulse for Dr. Evazan, which was a great reminder that I had ordered him from there and I needed to cancel that. However, and I know I'm not the only one, I saw someone on Reddit mention this while I was checking in to see what was going on over there. I was unable to cancel the order. The Pulse site is not working. If you go into your order history and then click on an order, it doesn't take you to the order. You can't get to it. You can't cancel. I had to submit a chat and talk to them and be like, I need to cancel these. And
dude, that site is so bad.
Dude,
everywhere is talking about it. Facebook is talking about it. Bantha Skull was talking about it today, literally today. This is the worst upgrade.
Yeah.
An update, not an upgrade.
The site is
a downgrade for sure.
Trash.
It's so bad.
Anyway, yeah, it looks like we had middle-aged Kiwi man collecting Star Wars figure drop by, and just dropping by, popping in to say hello, hi, bye. It's good to see you, man.
Enjoy the flight.
Yeah.
Updated bingo card, just bad batch rage. Accurate.
I did get one thing. It's not an official release. This actually I found it in the mail when I came back home today from work trip. It is a custom figure that someone just, the Mandalorium on Instagram. I'm sure if you haven't followed this person, do so. They are elevating our 3 3/4 inch figures with just incredible part swaps, custom soft goods. It's really awesome. So anyway, Mandalorium was kind enough and just out of their pure generosity and kindness of their heart, they sent me a custom upgraded Force Awakens Kylo Ren that they made.
Nice.
And awesome. Got some custom soft goods and belts and all of that. He still has most of the same articulation of the base and whatever, but the soft goods are great. They're an improvement over the ones that were on the base figure. It's kind of reignited it. The head is not attached to the scarf, so you can actually have him move a little more dynamic.
I did that with mine.
Some simple little tweaks will do to some of these figures. So huge shout out to the Mandalorium folks. If you're watching, go over to Instagram, follow them right now, and you'll see some incredible works of art when it comes to 3 3/4 inch customs. So yeah, thank you, appreciate it. Sweet. Tyler, are the snowtroopers shipping?
Oh boy. When I say my wallet is about to get smashed, I mean like freight train smashed, aisle driver smashed, like going home from the bar after like 24 shots smashed, like smashed. Yeah, I have 100 of those that are going to charge any minute now.
Yeah.
100 of these.
If there's a figure to buy that many of, that is one of them, man.
I think Entertainment Earth is like, hold off on this dude's order because like we gotta make sure we have enough cases first. But no, I have seen who reported that EE was shipping them.
I think you said somebody told you, but mine are not shipping them or processing them yet either.
Mine are not either, but someone said they are shipping from Pulse. I don't know if anybody in the comments can confirm.
Did we mention that on?
It's going to be soon, though.
I don't know. I don't think soon. I haven't gotten mine. I've gotten my notifications for Aura and Callahan from that wave, but I haven't gotten any Snowtrooper notifications from that wave. And I got the other ones in the case.
Entertainment Earth still says June.
Okay. Yeah,
but it'll
be
always piss me off and ship like 2 months early. So I'm just expecting to get. I'm screwed any day now. So
I forgot to put it in the news, but now might be an okay time because I have to, going back to what you said, I have to modify my Ponda Baba orders because today Entertainment Earth finally put up the wave case for his fan channel wave, which has one Ponda Baba, one of a unknown figure, and then 3 other figures that have packed 2 per case. Yeah. So I had already ordered 2 Pondas on Hasbro Pulse, so I got to cancel one of those because I'll get it in the case instead.
Yeah.
Amazon says they're shipping in late April.
I was just about to mention that as I was putting the photos together here to show on the stream, I got that email roll through about 30 minutes ago. So yeah,
that would be great to give me another month and a half to save. I will say I've been a super good boy and have actually budgeted for them this time, so I'm not going to be homeless and destitute this time.
This time.
Yeah. And then the 501st are going to smash me back to back, and I'm going to be like, have mercy, please. Yeah, it's gonna
Hasbro likes your money. It spends real good, Tyler.
It's almost like when they make what I want, I give them my money.
Wow.
Yeah.
Imagine that. I have another 100 of those coming. And then I have another 30 of the Imperial Commandos coming in July, which will probably actually charge in May. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. It's a considerably more expensive year for me than last year. Considerably.
I saw a comment that's going to be relevant when we talk about March Madness here, but just with you buying all of these troopers, I can't help but think about this comment now where someone said, I prefer to expand my collection rather than replace my collection. I was like, oh, Tyler has replaced his troopers.
Someone just asked me what I'm going to do with all my old snow troopers. That's what I'm going to do. Right in the trash. No, I'm just kidding. They're okay.
Yeah, they can be retired.
Yeah,
they're not as bad as like the VOTC 2004 like 21-year-old stormtroopers. They're still passable, but man, if anybody out there is like, oh, they're good enough, no, bro, no. You need these, believe me.
Yeah,
like you trust me. You need these.
Put the old ones in your trooper you'll ever need.
Yeah, they're phenomenal.
Until the Mando versions next year.
Yeah.
I hope they dirty those up. If they end up repacking those on a Mando card or putting these in a 4-pack, like make them weathered in some different way, like dirty them up in some other way to make them unique from these, so that adds a little bit of variety to your display and makes them look more convincing. Because when all your troopers have exactly the same grime or exactly the same dings in the armor, I mean,
that sounds mighty complicated. And what you're asking for, how do the Hasbro execs pay for their yachts if they deco those?
Whomstever will pay for so much paint.
Well, John, you had just offered that piece of news about the EE assortment, so I guess we'll just kind of move into the news segment of the show. As we mentioned this past weekend, there seems to be a Hasbro pre-order day this upcoming Wednesday, March 26th, which for those of you paying attention was the day we wanted to end TVC March Madness.
At least this version, but not on all of them. But
I
always want to end TVC March Madness. That's every day for me. But
it's time for the March Madness to end. But then maybe we'll have our renewed hope and all that. It's fine. Yes. We still don't know exactly when the reveal stream will be. There's been radio silence about that. But since it hasn't been announced still, the most likely scenario is that it will be maybe Tuesday, next Tuesday, March 25th. So in order to avoid a bunch of reveals coming right in the middle of of the voting process, we are indeed going to run the championship round this upcoming Monday, March 24th. So it will be the usual 24-hour period instead of the 3-day window. And we will be announcing the winner on the final TVC March Madness live stream, which will not be next Wednesday night. It will be Monday night. Same bracket time, same bracket channel right here on YouTube. So like and subscribe so you don't miss a second, and update your calendars accordingly. Again, that is Monday, March 24th. And our stream will probably begin at about 11 p.m. Eastern time. So, we good?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes.
Cool. On that note, let's just dovetail into the March Madness of it all. This is that Monday thing. That's where March Madness is going. But where has it been and where is it now? John, why don't you go ahead and run us through this? And I
wrote this.
Hopefully this is working. So
Slapdashly. Yes. I guess we'll find out in about 10 seconds on the YouTube stream. Wow, it's looking good. Okay, great. Thank you for bearing with me, everybody. Okay, so on Monday we held the round of the Sweet 16. where a lot of fan favorite characters met their demise in very close matchups. Let's go over who the Sweet 16 were real quick. Oh, yes. Okay. So, yeah, The Stranger versus Mara Jade.
Yes. And actually, I think I have the results.
You have the results right after
as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Cool.
Did you read those? It's really small for me. So there you go.
Yeah. So Mara Jade pulled off the upset. She was the number 17 seed. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
She pulled off the upset against The Stranger. That was 945 votes to The Stranger's 836. That is a share of 53.1% to 46.9.
Yes. And I'll have more to say on the whole thing after let's go through all the results.
Yep. Cool.
Arlyle Schus versus Echo. Arlyle was number 9. Echo was number 8. Very close.
And Echo pulled off the victory here by, what was that, 9 votes? 895 to 886.
I kept looking. It was literally 50-50, literally the exact same votes. And they'd go back and forth within like less than 10 throughout the entire day. So every vote counts, as we always say.
Next matchup is
Luthen versus Saw. Luthen was number 4. Saw was number 13. And Luthen took it.
Yep, 928 to 853. So if you're noticing a theme here, these are all pretty close matchups.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right.
And then Pong Krell, number 12 versus Baze Malbus, number 5. Last year's champion was felled by Baze.
Another super close one. Baze with 900 votes to Pong Krell's 881. So 50.5% to 49.5%.
Wow.
19 vote difference.
Yeah.
Jeez. And then Wrecker, who was number 2 versus Two Tubes, who was number 15.
And Wrecker wrecked it.
Tubes got wrecked.
Yep. And when we say that, again, not really that. It's still pretty close. 983 to 798. So 55.2 to 44.8%.
Mm-hmm. And then we had number 42, Agent Callus, punching above his weight class against Asajj Ventress, number 7.
Yes, and Ventress with 1,108 votes to Callus's 673.
Yes. Let me see. I'm looking at. I got so many brackets listed here. I'm trying to remember which one is the most up to date. Okay, then we had Crosshair, who was ranked at number 3 versus the Indoor Commando, another one that did really jumped above its seed. It was number 46, but it was time to go back to the bunker, I guess.
Yeah. Crosshair with 1,046 votes to Endor Commandos 735. And then final matchup of the day
is Padme Amidala from Geonosis, number 54 versus Tick, number 6.
And Tick took it, 944 to 837. So again, I think the biggest quote unquote blowout of the day wasn't a blowout. It was, I'll pull up all of them here. It was Ventress, having a little under a 500 point. I think it was a 60-some, 30-some split, 30% split. So nothing too like decisive, like, this is blown out of the water. So relatively close across the board here for the most part.
Yes, because we want them all. Okay.
Yes.
You know that.
Yes.
Let me try to open the slightly more updated bracket, which you'll probably be bringing up here in a second. But
I was going to, but
yeah. So in general, I'll just say, a lot of fan favorite characters met their demise in very close matchups, including last year's tournament champion Pong Krell and last year's last figure standing winner Arlyle Schus. It was bad batch domination, much to the chagrin of some and much to the excitement of others, with all 4 remaining batchers winning their matchers. Yeah. And while many collectors were emotionally upset, only one matchup that you just saw was an actual upset. The Red Blade versus the Redhead, with the number 1 seed in search of an acolyte, the Stranger, falling to the legendary Mara Jade, who was seeded number 17.
Can we take a moment to appreciate that line? That's so good.
It was very good. But I just saw Bo-Katan like squeak by.
Yes, we're getting there.
Well, we're about to talk about it. Why is she here, John? Take it away.
Yes. So how does this, Tyler, you asked earlier, how does this compare to previous number 1 seeds and how they performed in the tournament? So In 2021, number 1 seed Bo-Katan, number seed meaning she was the highest ranked, most points in the submissions that we got in January. In 2021, number 1 seed Bo-Katan Kryze won the tournament and was made in late 2021 or early 2022, meaning she was already in development when the tournament happened. In 2022, number 1 seed Count Dooku made it to the Sweet 16, where he lost to Pre Vizsla, who then went on to almost win the tournament against Chrysanthemum. Though Dooku made a comeback in 2023 to win it all and came out in early 2024. And then in 2023, number 1 seed Princess Leia Organa also made it to the Sweet 16, where she lost to Hera Syndulla, both of whom joined the line in 2024. Leia had been near the top for a while. And then last year in 2024, number 1 seed Baylan Skoll, another recent media villain who was unmade at the time of the tournament. Take a hint, Hasbro. Let's go. Made it to the championship, where he was defeated by Pong Krell, and Baylan is joining the line in the next main line wave. So in 3 out of the 5 tournaments, the number 1 seed got to the Sweet 16 and was defeated there. So the Stranger is right on par with Leia and Dooku. And then in one of them, they made it to the championship, and in one of them, they actually won the whole thing. The first time, the only time that has happened. But yeah, so Dooku came back the next year. Maybe the Stranger will come back next year. He also got very close in Last Figure Standing. Yep. Where he was defeated by Arlyle. That was a very close matchup against Echo.
Hopefully he doesn't come back next year.
Yes, exactly.
Because he will be pipelined or made. So
yes. Yeah, that's look at all of the other number 1 ranked figures. They all are in our collections.
I know.
So.
Dana, some people are saying I need Princess Leia still. Go buy her. What are you waiting for?
I feel like, and again, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like in terms of what happened during this round between the number 1 seed getting knocked out in a huge upset, not huge, but I mean, it was about 100 votes, but huge as in like kind of unexpected. So the number 1 seed got knocked out, the defending champion from the previous year got knocked out, and the Last Figure Standing champion got knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that much turbulent stuff has ever happened in one round before. I mean, that's like really crazy. Because everyone was like, oh, what if Pong? I mean, even I was saying it like, what if Pong Krell becomes TVC March Madness's, first 2-time champion? Like, how wild would that be? And then I got knocked out. I was like, whoa, we didn't see that coming. So just crazy.
And I think, in some way, I don't know if it's a combination of, has a message been sent with the Stranger? Because
that's what I was wondering.
He's number 1 and he did really well in Last Figure Standing, or people don't like the show or whatever, or they assume he's coming because we know he was hidden from Hasbro other than the helmet and all these things. So it's always like,
and he got leaked for Black Series.
So even though all these other characters are also in Black Series, which I did see a lot of comments being like, oh, we saw his cape for Black Series. That means he's coming. It's like, well, all the other ones are already in Black Series and they're not in Vintage Collection. That's why we're here, guys.
Yeah, I think the entirety of the Elite 8 exists in the Black Series, correct?
Yes. So aside from this upset, which was, we'll get to that in a second. But the rest of the Elite 8, as shocking as it was for many people, myself included, all of us included, we were surprised to see all these heavy hitters go out. The rest of the Elite 8 closely matched the initial submission data with numbers 2 through 8, all advancing to the Elite 8. So the entire top 8 is in the Elite 8 except for the Stranger. So as shocking as it was, it actually is not that far off of the data. So, and we'll get into how that splits up in a second. But yeah, is this the largest day for participation this year? I can't remember.
Monday.
We should be.
Yeah,
Monday was okay.
I think so. Yeah. Today, I don't know. I don't even have the form pulled up because I don't want to know, dude. Monday, when this was going on, the curse continues. My kiss of death maintains, and it reigns supreme. Anything I support is probably gonna lose.
Evan was big sad on Monday.
Yeah. I made a lot of memes about it. Played a lot of Limp Bizkit.
It's just one of those days.
Thomas had never seen such
wah,
wah before.
Something inside you is broken.
So I don't know. The people that everyone started complaining about the Bad Batch, but it's like, again, they just need to make them, as I've said before, like big groups of characters advance together sometimes. Like a few years ago, the Rebels crew had a lot a lot of characters on there. Then the A New Hope mains had a lot of characters on there. We are not going to combine the Bad Batch. They are individually unique sculpts.
Yes. Say it again louder, John, for the people
best way, yes, to get them off the bracket would be to actually make them. So, yeah. Any other thoughts on these particular matchups?
Oh man. Well, let me pull up the bracket here.
It's I always just think it's funny, like how much certain factors play into people's decisions, right? Like, you know, and even I'm guilty of it too. You know, oh, I think most people are going to vote for this character, so I'm going to vote against her. Or, oh, you know, I think this character is likely to come, or the message has been sent, or whatever, so I'm going to vote for this character, right? Like, there's not. I feel. I mean, I'm sure there's some people who just straight up vote for who they want, but I feel like a lot of people, there's a lot of sort of nuances to it, and a lot of deliberating, which is good. You know, I like that people put thought into their choices instead of just mindlessly hitting buttons and then closing out. Yeah. Like, that's, you know, it's good.
Yeah.
It shows that people are engaged and really thinking about this stuff. So,
you know, just to kind of go on that tension as well, is I think it's important to remember as that this isn't like, you know, even when something loses in one of these matchups, it's not a, oh, good, so nobody wants it, or it's all over for this character. It's like, no. That's not it at all. It wouldn't be on this bracket if nobody wanted it. It's, you know, 64 characters out of how many? And even then, you know, again, we want it all and that fun stuff. So, you know, it dovetails into the spirit of the whole tournament as well. And John, I see you've got a couple thoughts on that.
Yeah. Do you want me to go first? Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So I wrote out, because I've seen following lots of, you know, comment threads and people being upset about various things, but, you know, I certainly don't think the bracket is the be all end all representation of every single collector ever. Never has been. I don't think that's possible to do. Always want more participation. Always want you to tell people about it. Always want you to get the word out. That's why I ask for everybody's help in doing that. Yes. And so many people, so many of our friends in the community do it, but I need everybody watching, everybody participating to send it to other collector pals to get them aware. But anyway, the top 25 submissions in particular are a slice of what the dedicated segment of collectors who choose to participate want at this particular point in time. And the bracket, we always say, is mostly for fun, but it can be interesting insofar as surprises can also be useful for Hasbro, like when characters overperform their rankings, like Mara J did, or like Agent Callus, the Indoor Rebel Commando, and Padme did to get to the Sweet 16. And I don't think the bracket is necessarily what the best seller ever of all time would be, since we all know that's just Darth Vader and Mando and Stormtroopers repacked over and over till the heat death of the universe. Those are important. Hasbro will continue to do those anyway. We don't need to ask for them. They are coming anyway. That you can guarantee that. You can't guarantee a lot, but you can guarantee that. But this is kind of a temperature check on what these particular fans might be feeling at this particular point in time. So if you disagree or your favorites were knocked out, take heart in the fact, like we said, that they did well enough to get on the bracket in the first place, that, you know, so many people put them on the list to get them into the bracket. Hundreds of people still voted for them in their matchups anyway, since none of the matchups this year have been major blowouts. I think, you know, in years past, we've got like 25%. A character can get 25% lose, but I think it's done well beyond that this year. Like, all the matchups have been a lot closer than that this year.
Yes.
Some have been like maybe a third or whatever, but none of them have been major blowouts this year. Many of them have been within a razor thin margin. So we like it all. We want it all. If you don't think it matches what everybody wants, that's fine. If you don't think it matches you, that's fine. Get more participation. We like it all. We want it all. Everybody, you're all good. Let's all take a breath. We're here for fun. Okay. Thank you.
To piggyback on that, John. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Tyler.
I was just going to say real quick, you know, Trevor down there says, it's crazy to me that more TVC collectors don't participate in March Madness. I agree, man. I wish it is like pulling teeth, getting people to freaking click a link and tap a few buttons for character images. I mean, you'd think I'm asking them to, you know, walk 20 miles with a 100-pound pack or something. I mean, it's just like, come on, man. It takes 30 seconds. But, you know, they say a number that is often cited in this hobby is that there's approximately 15,000 TVC collectors. I don't know that I believe that. I think there's more than that. I could be wrong. Hasbro has the numbers on that sort of thing based on how many, people they ship through Pulse or whatever. I don't know. They probably have better metrics than me. I tend to think that it's more than that. But let's assume that it is 15,000 people, right? If we're averaging approximately 1,500 votes, then you're getting a sample size of about 10% of the collecting community, which is pretty freaking good if that number is accurate. Now, when you expand that out to like, national voting for the whole country for like the presidential election or whatever, you're not, when they do sample voting about who you're going to vote for, they're not able to capture the voting of 150 million people or whatever, right? It's a sample size, but that gives you a pretty good idea of what the broad collecting community wants, and certainly the most engaged people.
And so it's not always about what is going to sell the most or whatever. It's about what's going to keep those most engaged people coming back and keeping them satisfied, because we've all wanted stuff for decades or whatever. But yeah, my favorite is when people say they're aware of it, but they choose not to because it doesn't represent their wants or whatever. Like, well, the best way to let it represent your wants is to participate and tell us what you want, and tell Hasbro what you want. Get in there. But
I am shocked every year when I see people that are just like, I've been collecting for a long time, but I've never heard of this before. And it's like, dude, we're 5 years in. What more can we do?
It's hard to imagine how we could spread the word about this event more than we do. We partner with so many different sites and pages. We've been doing this for 5 years. I mean, if you name a page, they've probably posted about it. I don't know, man. I don't know how we can spread the word about this any more than we do. Like, the French Facebook group, like, who even knows that's a thing? No offense to the French Facebook group, but like, there's very niche pages out there that are
friend of the dark
talking about this.
And
of course, kudos to him. But I'm just saying, like, we have spread to like all the dark corners of the collecting community and done our utmost to get the word out there. And I don't know how we could possibly do any better for that, but
I always say if you don't vote, you can't complain, and yet complain they still do anyway. But
I'll
say I'm not personally down on the numbers, and I think, like you said, I think people make decisions based on
pretty good this year.
Yeah, and it's been getting, because sometimes it peaks on the first day and then it gets less throughout. But we've been kind of peaks and valleys, but it's still, like we said, the best day was this past Monday, which is awesome. And so some people, Paul Hadley wrote, some people were unaware of the HasLab barge. Some people are unaware of every HasLab, and they say, "Oh, I didn't know it was going on."
Like this too. Where is Revan? He's in our collections already. They made a really great one very recently.
Came out last year.
Yeah.
But, real quick, before we move on, Dana or Dan.
I did see that. I did see that.
He asked like 3 times. Can we address this question real quick?
Anybody ever counted your?
Dude, I tried counting only my stormtroopers and I found that overwhelming. So I have often thought about inventorying all my stuff for like insurance purposes.
It's hard, man.
Oh, it's daunting. I can't even. I'm in the process of moving, so this might be a good time to count everything. But good Lord, my God, it's
a good way to slow walk the moving process. Like, I could pack a box, or I could just count these little things. It'll be great.
You're gonna start counting, and then by the end, after 10,000, you're just gonna be dumping stuff in tubs and saying, "Oh, let's go."
What about you guys? Have you ever inventoried your stuff?
I've done loose inventory, but I had to stop counting at a certain point because I would lose track of things, and then so many duplicates and all that blah blah blah, all that stuff. It's tough, man.
An Excel spreadsheet of like my loose and packaged stuff of like a given figure, and I can't keep up with it, man. It's I will say I counted my stormtroopers between the VC 140s and the VC 231 stormtroopers, and I have close to 200 of those alone. So I have a lot.
I think I counted probably the last time was over a decade ago was the last time I counted, so I couldn't even begin to do it now. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, how are you gonna pack and move everything? I saw that the Blue Milk page has been giving advice on how to.
Yeah, it's like they know, Tyler.
So yeah, so I've seen a lot of people say that comic book boxes are perfect, and I kept seeing that around, but I was like, okay, yeah, but like which comic book boxes though? And just so happened that Blue Milk posted today the exact like company that sells the boxes, and they're on Amazon, and I'm like, yes. So I ordered 10 of them. So that was awesome. And then as far as like loose bagging these up, I do want to talk about these two clones if we get a chance. But anyway, as far as bagging up loose stuff, people say to put them in acid-free bags. So I guess you're not supposed to use like normal Ziploc bags. You're supposed to use acid-free bags because normal bags will like yellow them or whatever if they're stored for too long. I don't know.
Oops,
I have spent so much money on these clamshells. It's
jeez.
Actually, that would be a great way for me to count how many figures I have, is just check my orders of clamshells because I am overdue ordering some more. So at least, oh God, there's at least 1,500. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
So I ordered a box of 100 2.5 gallon acid-free Ziploc bags.
Nice.
Well, they're not Ziplocs. They're they're like Ziploc bag. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just say it. Ziploc. It's easy.
Yeah.
Real quick.
I'll say every time I order like star cases or something, and I get like 100, 150, 200 or something, and then I go through it right away. I'm like, oh my God, I got to do that again. Now I'm at that point again where I got to get more.
Same. I was ordering them in 25 quantities of 25 for a while, and it's like, no, I just gotta.
Do you guys keep the small piece of paper? Dan Von Carr says. The important question is, what do you do with the small piece of paper that comes with each figure? Those in the VC Grogu's are like mold; they just keep growing.
Yeah, those go right in the trash.
Those go away from me. Yeah.
If it was like a little brochure, like in the old days, I might keep some of those. But it's all just garbage. Yeah. It's nothing important there.
Real quick, we have about 15 minutes.
Don't choke on this in 50 languages.
We have about 15 minutes left of today's voting. That is the Elite 8 voting. Yes. The link is in the bottom corner of this stream, the link tree. Go ahead. You've got 15 minutes. I see there's 86 folks watching right now. I assume if you're watching right now, you have already voted. If you have not, this is your friendly reminder to do so. It is, act now or speak now or forever hold your peace. So.
Yes, it's anybody's game still. So, should we go over the Elite 8 real quick?
Yeah, let's do that real quick.
And I'll say, put a button on the previous topic. I'll say thank you to everybody who participates.
Yes.
Thank you to everybody, all our friends of the community who post. Miko, again, got to shout him out all the time because you've been tirelessly posting our stuff every day. Yakface has been reposting our content every day. Victoria's been talking about it on her streams. Bosk had me on his stream and has been talking about it. Bantha Skull's been talking about it.
on Reddit has been keeping up with it and doing like really great captions of his own and engaging with folks in the comments. Way better
than Fat, Middle-aged Kiwi Man, Toys of the Way. Everybody everywhere who's talking about it. We appreciate you.
Yes.
So thank you all.
We couldn't do any of this, without all of you, the voters and those that are helping spread the word and support us.
And real quick, I just want to bring up one thing, and this is not meant to insult anybody. Well, no.
I know, I'm just kidding.
Believe me, they say imitation is the highest form of flattery, right? So we've seen an explosion of Black Series March Madness events, and that's great. More power to you. However, what those don't have in common with this event is all of the massive infusion of actual community data from the lists and the points, and we didn't pull these characters out of our personal want lists. Like that's your data. That's what you guys wanted, and that's and it's an extremely you meaning the audience. It's an extremely time-intensive collating process, filtering process. John, you can speak to that.
You don't say
times.
Yeah,
and so it's not just like, oh, let me make a list of clone troopers. Like, there's way more that goes into it than this. So, if somebody else in that other community wants to go through that effort, that's great. But I just want to say, there's significantly more value to actual, data that's been tabulated, for
And
lack of a
that's
better word.
Even from the very early conversations that, you know, when I think we got together, I came to you guys and like, what if we did this? And you guys were like, how would that work? Conversation started right there was, well, we want this to prioritize the community. What actionable data for our hobby, for our scale, for our line, you know, to really hopefully send meaningful messages and, you know, get people talking about it and have everyone participate and, you know, make folks have their voice heard and really put a lot of emphasis on that. This is a community and really want this to be representative as best we can. Of course, you know, as we said earlier, it's not going to hit everything, but as best we can of the folks that, you know, we're here to, you know, engage with and have fun with. So
I'll say before we get back into the Elite Eight, Maxibius said, speaking of data, I think now's a good time to remind the community how many characters have been made after the madness. I pulled up one of my mini spreadsheets. I count 50 out of the 134 characters that have been on over the past 5 years. 53 of them have been made. So a little over a third, right? Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Again,
man.
Not patting ourselves on the back, not taking credit, but you know, the fact that Hasbro eventually makes the stuff that everybody's asking for, that everybody wants, it's awesome to see. So
bravo, Hasbro. I know I complain a lot, but keep doing it. You're doing a great job.
All right.
So
we got about 10 minutes. Let's take a little walk.
Yes. So now that we have the Elite Eight, as we await the polls closing, the Elite Eight, by the way, they are Mara Jade, Echo from the Bad Batch, Luthen Rail, Baze Malbus, Wrecker, Asajj Ventress, Crosshair, and Tech. Let's take a look back at the journeys here. The journeys through the bracket so far. So Mara Jade, she started off. She defeated our sweet sweater boy Ben Solo.
Sweet boy.
I think Mara Jade does not like me very much.
You don't like her either.
Yeah. Hey, now I bought a big old expensive lightsaber. So yeah, she defeated Ben Solo in the first round, round 64.
Yes, and then Ki-Adi-Mundi next up, the Purple Blades, and then she finally just defeated the Stranger, as we saw.
Yes.
Next up, Echo from the Bad Batch. First in the round of 64, he defeated Keller and Beck. In the round of 32, he defeated the Jedi Temple Guard, and in the round of the Sweet 16, he defeated Arlyle Shoes. Mara is mothering Maxibius, as you said.
That's fantastic comment. I love it.
And yes, again, he was ranked number 8. Arlyle was ranked number 9. It was a very close matchup. It was literally 50-50 most of the day. All right, next up, Luthen Rail defeated Clone Captain Rex from Sealos, the Rebels version. Then he defeated the AT-AT driver. Then he defeated his fellow Rebel Saw Gerrera. Another Rogue One verse, a Gilroy verse, I don't know, character. Baze Malbus, first he defeated 2-1B. And then he defeated Chancellor Palpatine, Jedi Arrest. And then he defeated the champion, Ponkrell. And then Wrecker. I could be taking a lot longer with this. We still have 9 minutes till it goes. He defeated Yats Orin in the round of 64. Then he defeated Kira in the round of 32. And then he defeated 2 Tubes in the round of the Sweet 16. And then Asajj Ventress defeated the Pike Soldier. Then she defeated SM-33. Then she defeated Agent Callus. And then going from one animated redeemed villain to another, we got Crosshair, who defeated, sorry, Tyler, the Galactic Marine.
Mm-hmm.
Then he defeated Plo Koon, just tearing through the prequel trilogy. And then one for the OT as well, the Indo-Rebel Commando. And then...
Sorry, I'm just laughing at the comments. Sorry.
Oh, man. Rudy Smith. Yes. Ow.
I'm sorry, man. I got to save my money for troopers. I'm not bribing anybody, pal. All right.
Yeah.
Your boy's about to be homeless.
Keep all the card bags, build a house.
Last but not least, Tech. First, he defeated Ezra Bridger Peredia from Ahsoka. Then he defeated Pirate Captain Brutus from Skeleton Crew. And then he defeated Padme Amidala Geonosis from Attack of the Clones, who was the last prequel character.
I did not see that coming as the last prequel character. If you had to say, out of all the prequel characters that made it onto the board this year, which one's going to be the last one standing? I would not have said Padme. Very shocking.
Make them mains, though. You know, the definitive modern versions of these mains.
Yes,
so,
it's been a while. And then in terms of, so let me
today's
see.
matchups, we should probably just mention those real quick. There's 7 minutes left to vote. Today's matchups are the Elite 8. Is John, you have the rankings, right?
Yes. So number 17, Mara Jade versus number 8, Echo. And then we got number 4, Luthen Rail versus number 5, Baze Malbus. Very close. And then we got number 2, Wrecker versus number 7, Asajj Ventress. And then we got number 3, Crosshair versus number 6, his own brother, Tech.
All right. And so you know what that means, since those two are facing off. For those groaning about the Bad Batch, at least one of them's not going to make it. So.
Yes, one of the tournaments, one of the matchups here does not have them. But I was trying to see in terms of, we're talking about OTPT, the only George Lucas characters on this bracket are the Bad Batch, because everybody always forgets that George Lucas created the Bad Batch for the Clone Wars. Everybody whines and moans about the Bad Batch and says we need more George Lucas characters. Well, guess what, guys? He didn't create Asajj Ventress. He didn't create, Luthen Rail, Baze Malbus, Mara Jade.
He kind of did create
Asajj
Ventress.
Well,
she was concept art.
She's concept art, but yeah,
she goes all the way back to Tartakovsky, and then she was brought forward into the other Clone Wars.
She goes before.
Yeah, but George didn't work on the Tartakovsky stuff, and he didn't really work on the Clone Wars micro series stuff. He worked with her. He worked with Asajj Ventress. I don't know if he created her outright, but there you go. Try to throw a little wrench in everyone's complaints there. Okay, it's not quite time to show the results.
Nope.
I wanted to talk about, because Mara Jade, someone, much to Tyler's chagrin, but somebody on Rebel Scum posted a very funny meme of Dr. Manhattan going, it's 2006, we're voting for Mara Jade in a fan poll. It's 2011, we're voting for Mara Jade in a fan poll, because she has done well in previous fan polls. 4 years ago, I made a list of how they did, and I didn't go beyond 2004. But so in the early 2006 Toy Fair poll, which Quinlan Voss was the winner of, but he was already in development, so the runner-up Darth Revan was made from that poll, but Mara Jade Skywalker was on that list. And then in late 2011 Titan magazines, Mara Jade won that one. That was why we have the Black Series one from 2013. The idea was to get her in the vintage collection, but it was not happening at the time. And on that poll, she was Mara Jade Skywalker Jedi, and it showed her like green Irish pixie fairy Jedi outfit, which they still have not made. People were expecting that one, and they made the cat do it again. And then, she was in the Black Series one as well, that Jaina Solo won. And a lot of that, I don't know, we've talked before about how it feels like in some of those polls, which were opened to the wider community, like StarWars.com readers, they would vote for the Legends characters, or comic characters. That's partly why I think Dr. Aphra won the TVC poll in 2017. But like Darth Revan would win, both polls for Black Series and Vintage Collection. So it's interesting seeing. She hasn't done that well in previous years, and she's only been on the bracket for the second year, but she has done well in previous fan polls. And just had to.
Was she in last year, right?
Yeah, she was last year, and she ranked. Let me find it real quick.
Now, I don't know if you remember, but as a Black Series collector,
wait, I'll just say real quick. She was ranked 58 last year, but she did not make it out of the top 64. So she jumped up to 17 this year, and
So when did the Black Series Mara Jade, like the publishing figure came out before the Last Command pack, right?
The Last Command pack was about a year ago, and then the Black Series one was maybe 4 years ago. Evan, would you say?
Okay,
somewhere in there,
but not recent enough to influence. Okay, but so she made it into last year's tournament before the Last Command set was revealed, right? In other words, what I'm trying to say is she got in there sort of naturally, not as a reaction to the Black Series reveal, right?
Let me double check on when she was actually released in.
I'm just curious about that.
Maybe,
Mara Single was 2023, so it wasn't that long ago.
Okay, so maybe it was not. It was shortly after the Black Series.
Thank you, Carrie.
All that to say, people were saying that She got into the tournament because of the TVC Heir to the Empire pack, but this is actually her second year in the tournament. So she was raising up into, community consciousness before that. So,
and I've always said that, all the Legends votes were kind of spread across with all these different groups, like any group. And I've said before, like Cantina characters, Jedi Council members, Jabba's Palace characters, pod racers, whatever you want, whatever group, the votes are kind of split between these different characters, even if let's say this group of people want, all the pod racers, but okay, 5 of them say EB Indicat and 5 of them say Ben Quadnero with swivel hips and with ball joint hips or whatever. So it's hard to get everybody on the same page, even if they kind of want the same thing. They're kind of swimming in the same direction. But yeah, with Legends, so now a few did well, like Darth Malik, and Dash did not do that well because he sucks, but that's okay. But
Malik is cool though. Come on. Malik is cool.
He's fine
with his sliced off jaw. Come on,
with his one of the two Darth. Who's the other guy?
Malik.
Darth Malgus. Yeah, I was confused.
Malgus.
Which bald guy? Which bald white guy missing a jaw? And Darth Mal something.
There's too many to choose from.
It's very true.
But
okay, well, I'm ready.
Speaking of too many to choose from, it's almost time to close the polls for the day. In a few,
you've got seconds now. I think it's under a minute. I've got the button pulled up to switch it off here, and just any second now. I'm waiting for the clock.
A lot of people are going to be like, "Where's the link? The link is right there.
Yeah,
right there. Just type it in the old-fashioned way."
I don't know how many more times I can say 12:01 a.m. to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time throughout March on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. But I have to say it again. All right, the clock ticked. Poll over. We're done.
We got 1,660 responses.
Yes, and you know what? We're going to reveal these from the bottom matchup to the top because I'm going to leave y'all in suspense.
Real quick, before you answer, can I just address Milky Way Skywalker's question real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, I do want to.
So basically, in a situation where where they just say Mara Jade, right? Like, basically, we sort of default to their most famous appearance or their most common appearance or their first appearance, right, John? I mean,
yeah. And so I think, but a lot of people wrote, I don't have it on hand. We can get into this later too, because I do want to do a deeper dive on her various costumes, because I'm not, but it
kind of goes
so
to
you're voting for the main cat suit version. But we do go for that's what most people who specified. There are other looks, there's Jedi looks, there's video game looks, but
you never know. One version can lead to another, blah, 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 blah. We can
that's time for another stream. Tyler's got to go to bed.
Yes, he does. So, all right, everybody, we're going to start from the bottom matchup today, which was Crosshair versus Tech. John, what were their rankings? That's
Crosshair is 3 and Tech is 6.
All right. So, with 858 votes to 802 votes, number 3 Crosshair is advancing to the final 4.
Yes, 51.7 to 48.3%.
Yes. All right, moving up, we are now at number 2 Wrecker versus number 7 Asajj Ventress. With a 53.4% share of the votes, that is 886 votes to 774. Asajj Ventress pulled off the upset and is moving forward to the final 4.
So Wrecker got wrecked.
Yeah.
Now it is he who got wrecked. He has done the wrecking, and now he has got the wrecking.
Asajj, man, always doing well.
She's no stranger to making it. The stranger is a stranger to the final 4 or the Elite 8, whatever. But Asajj Ventress, she's a veteran here. She was
in the championship against Ken Dooku, where he won.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
That was such a fun one, yeah.
And let me double check. I believe this is hers. Then she made it to the final 4 last year as well, I believe. Let me double check. Yes.
Just add her to the pile of the Take a Hint Hasbro list.
TVC March Madness. All 5 years. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Next matchup. 882 votes to 778 votes. That is 53.1% to 46.9%. Again, no major blowouts here. It is number 4 Luthen Rail versus number 5 Baze Malbus. But with that 882 vote lead, Baze Malbus, number 5, pulls off the slight upset over Luthen Rail.
Yes.
Wow.
The Rogue One crew representative making it in. It's, again, that teams and themes, guys.
He made it to the Elite 8 last year, so now that he'll be in the Final 4. This is his best performance yet in the bracket.
Wow. I saw some people saying that Baze needs the support right now because he was in media, 10 years ago, and he's not coming back to the screen, at least as far as we can imagine.
Only 9 years ago, Tyler.
Whereas Luthen's about to be in yet another fresh season of something, so it would appear that Hasbro would be more likely to make him. So I wonder how many people use that reasoning to make their decision.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, and the moment that you all have been waiting for, Tyler, looking at you. Number 8 Echo of the Bad Batch versus number 17 Mara Jade. This matchup, the winner had 865 votes to the losers 795. So that's math amount of votes, 70 vote difference. Is that right? I don't know. I didn't do too good.
Seems right.
That's why I'm talking on a podcast or a live stream about Star Wars toys. All right. So going to the Final 4 is number 17 Mara Jade.
Hey, wow.
Yes. So that means 3 of today's matchups were upsets.
Wow.
That means folks that were bummed out about, the Bad Batch. Well, guess what? Only one of them made it. So
yeah.
There's
and is he even really a Bad Batch member? Crosshair, after he left, he came back.
By the end.
And then Ventress had the best performance of the day, but they're all pretty close.
Yeah. Very close.
51.7, 53.4, 53.1, 52.1. So yeah, all fairly similar.
Considering that Ventress has made it to the final showdown in a previous year, I could see her taking it this year. I could see that happening.
And John, you made some variation contingency graphics to be prepared, and so I grabbed a couple. So that means the 2025 Final 4 matchups will be Mara Jade.
It was fairly clear what these outcomes were going to be a few hours ago, so I popped the graphics out already.
Yeah, Mara Jade versus Baze Malbus, and
so number 17 versus number 5.
Perfect. And then Asajj Ventress versus Crosshair.
Dude,
3 versus
could you
number
imagine
7.
if this ends up being Mara versus Ventress for our first ever female on female showdown?
Ladies' night.
That's what we'll call Monday, if that's how
March
that goes.
Madness ladies' night.
That would be very.
That's what we're calling the Monday stream. If they go,
if that's what happens.
Yep.
Man.
I just saw a question to reiterate. There were 1,660 votes, so a little less than the other day, but not bad at all.
And yes, I'm aware of if we have a stream called Ladies Night and it is just 3 mediocre dudes talking about it. So anyway, that is your Final 4, ladies and gentlemen, 2025 TVC March Madness. Again, to reiterate, Mara Jade, Baze Malbus, Asajj Ventress, and Crosshair. I like it, man. I like it.
Yes, Baze Malbus. Like I said, he was in the Elite 8 last year. He was in the Sweet 16 in 2022. How did Crosshair do last year?
Got some animation, got some live action, and got some EU.
Yes.
Yeah, a little bit of everything.
Has an EU character ever made it this far? I don't think
Darth
so.
Revan made it to the Final 4.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Revan is hugely popular, so that makes sense.
There was 100 folks watching, by the way. Thank you. Make sure you are subscribed to all this fun stuff. Sorry, and just on the Revan topic, I saw a few people mention, I'm still waiting for it. It's hard to get. Yeah, dude, that is one that I'm scratching my head wondering why Hasbro underproduced that one, it seems, and that mythical second run of that figure hasn't materialized yet. It's been like 2 years.
They have a tendency to do that with Revans. The first Revan, or the Revan in 30th anniversary was underproduced too, wasn't it?
Even not to say, but even the Black Series one was underproduced at first, and they did another run.
Yeah,
overproduced, some may say, but
what's fun? At Revan, I actually bought one at retail. I found one at retail, so Felt good.
Wow.
Are we manifesting ladies' night? Is that what we're doing? Because everyone's like, that's what's gonna happen. I'm like, well, I guess we'll see.
I mean, people
We'll
I
also
think it'd be very fun.
Yeah,
there's great showings for the Bad Batch crew and for the Rogue One crew. So people, again, as Victoria said, as people have pointed out, people desperately want to finish those crews.
Yeah,
And
that is one of
Blade babes. I like that.
Blade babes. That is one of Hasbro's, biggest sins of late. The Bad Batch. I mean, this year, I think, really just further drove that point home, where it was, guys, what possessed you to think that it was totally cool, okay, and smart, and that we didn't want them to skip the main crew of a season or of a series that had 3 seasons? I don't get it. I know, Tyler, you're not the big. I'm just going to put it nicely. You're not the biggest fan of the Bad Batch, but
when you
acknowledge the importance there.
When you're seeing quantitative data like this, it's like, come on, guys. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. I don't want to ask for them for another year. I hope to not have to keep asking for them.
Yeah.
I think that is a widely held sentiment when you look at comments all over the community right now. Everyone's like, for the love of God, Hasbro, make these characters and get them off the board.
Yep.
Like, people are just, they're done with it, dude. They're done with it. So,
yeah. Speaking of a character who was nowhere,
hopefully.
Trevor Ritchie asking the important questions. Where was Rejask in the rankings?
Remind me who that is.
Spoiler. He's the big.
No idea who that is.
He's the guy in a brown robe with a rat mask in the cantina.
Oh.
He was ranked 159. So he will probably maybe next year. Maybe next year is the year of Rejask.
Wear a red wig. You know who would be fitting for that is a middle-aged Kiwi man. He's the one who always dresses
I bet his
up.
costume department has red wig ready. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
I'm not
prime a wig from New Zealand.
When everybody's asking all these questions where they ranked, I'll tell y'all later.
Yep.
But for now, it's all about the Final Four.
Yep. There's plenty more to say, and we have one more stream, guys.
Halloween still open? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right. All right. So I am a sleepy boy, so I will probably not make those matchup graphics tonight. I will make them in the morning. We will post these results on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yes.
You guys saw
the live reveal.
Sneak peek. Yeah.
Yes.
The live reveal.
Eagle-eyed fans will see the few frames of the stream where I may have tipped the hand as I was going through graphics and accidentally hit add to stream. But yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. Tyler, I know it is late for you, so I will just go through the spiel. Once again, voting has been happening every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday throughout March, with the voting window being open from 12:01 a.m. to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. There are only 2 more rounds happening Friday and Monday. Then Evan and John are going to go into our back to tanks for a month while Tyler and Lewis post your lovely figure photography and get back to normal over at SWTVC on Instagram. Speaking of, the link to voting will be spammed everywhere. Our at SWTVC Instagram posts and bio, our matchup stories, our personal Instagram pages, etc. John Miko has been diligently assisting us by posting over in the TVC Facebook group, which we immensely appreciate. Yakface has already been posting about this. We've mentioned this all earlier. He's been on Instagram, his website.
I copied last week's.
I'm just doing it again, though, because it's worth repeating. Shout out once again to Trial Man on Reddit as well for taking point and getting everything posted over there and fostering some good community discussions. We see you. Again, Blue Sky, YouTube community posts. We're trying, folks. It's all there. Again, the link to remember is Linktree. So it is linktr.ee/SWTVC. It is on the corner of this live stream. Look right there. It is that. You will find there you will find everything you need for March Madness, the voting form, the links to our socials, the printable brackets and name pills and all that. So if you want to fill something out with only one more round, go for it.
Speaking of which, I'm going to turn on the high-res current version right now, which I believe I already put in there. Anyway, keep going. It'll be there in a minute.
Just a reminder that while we are not at all affiliated with Hasbro in any way, they do pay attention to these community events, and the more data and participation we can get, the better. All right, clothing thoughts, guys. Closing thoughts. Tyler, anything you want to sign off with?
Man, I just want to say, I did not think that, Mara was I think my number 2 on my top 25 list this year. I was happy she made it into the tournament. I never dreamed that she would get it this far. So whatever happens from here on out, I'm just Super, super glad to see that she made it this far. So thank you, everybody who voted Mara and continue to vote Mara. We'll see if she goes all the way, but even if she doesn't, I'm very happy with her performance this year. So thank you for pushing for more EU and finishing off those Heir to the Empire characters. Really, really appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. So.
Heck yeah. And I'm just going to piggyback on that. Shame on you for crushing my dreams of the stranger, taking it all.
I'm sorry that she just so happened to go up against stranger.
She beat up my purple lightsaber boy, Kiadi Mundi. She beat up Ben Solo. She beat up everybody I wanted. So.
She beat up everybody, man. Just stealthy assassin, Emperor's hand, and everybody. Everybody.
John, final thoughts from you before I do the last chunks of sign off here.
Complete the crew, finish everything that you started, and thank you all for voting and participating and sharing everything and having a good time and chatting and getting upset and getting. Monday was a wild day. It was a wild ride, but we got through it together as a community, and we'll get through to the end here, folks. It's almost there.
Monday was one. Thanks for bearing with me all day, you guys, in our team text chat. I was just going off regularly. It was just like, oh my god! I think I sent so many memes and gifts to you guys.
A lot of Obi-Wan. I can't watch anymore. Results.
Yep, a lot of
Can you highlight Finn's comment?
Let's see. Where's he?
It's very clever.
Thank you. Yeah.
See what you did there.
All righty, friends. So we're in the home stretch, and then we'll let you all go. So make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons if you haven't already, not just for our channel, but for those of our guests that we've had throughout the month as well. Show some love, show some support. Follow us on Instagram to stay up to date with all the latest TVC March Madness developments. And reminder again, this year's Final Four will be facing off this Friday, and that is March 21st. And SWTVC will be back again for the championship round this upcoming Monday night. That is March 24th. Yes, March 24th at 11 p.m. Eastern time.
Voting will be happening all day, but we'll be back at 11 p.m.
Yes, we'll be back. The voting is all day, 12:01 a.m. to 11:59 p.m., but we'll be here streaming at 11 p.m. So stay tuned for more details. And here we go, guys. As always, keep 375 alive, back TVC. We want more. We want it all. Vote in TVC March Madness, and may the force be with you. Have a good night, everybody.